Praise the Lord, guys. My name is Amy.
My name's Daniel.
And we are
Revival
Podcast. So, welcome back to another episode, guys. We are very happy that you guys are here with us. And in today's episode, today's Daniel's first episode.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to have him here with me so we can, chit-chat a little bit today. So for today's episode, we're going to be talking about egos. Egos. Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay, so we just want to get right into it because we don't want to take that long.
Yeah.
So
We're going to talk about how the ego affects us, what it is really, and how we affect God with it, and what to do, how to solve this problem that we have of being too egotistical at times.
all right, so we can start off with, what is an ego?
What is an ego, Amy?
Well, I searched it up on Google, and it said a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance.
Okay.
Like, I feel like, everybody has an ego.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
I think there's a huge difference between, you just have an ego, but you have a big ego, a high ego,
Yeah.
an inflated ego.
Look, and I think that one thing that we have to make clear is that having an ego is not a bad thing, but it leads up to being a bad thing once starts becoming above God. Once it is more what you believe and more than what God believes, what God is.
Like, have you ever been told that you have a big ego?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been told many times.
Me too. I remember like in high school, the guys in my class would say that I was very egotistical. Bruh, like 14-year-old me, I was like, what does that mean, bruh?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's something that everybody struggles with, and it does drift you apart from God and from His presence, even if you might not see it that way. Maybe people don't think it's a big deal, but it really is, because your ego, part of your character, part of the way that you speak to other people, the way you behave with others, and that's important, because at all times we should be reflecting Jesus' love and His mercy to others, and we can't do that with a big
And
ego.
at times, bro, I feel like when we have our ego and we're not letting God talk to us, we're just telling Him, shut up. That's legit what we're doing. We're telling Him, I don't care what you trying to tell me. I do not care what you're trying to show me. I'm going to do it my way. Or how they always say, my way or the highway.
Yeah. And like I was getting ready for this, I was looking up at traits of a big ego.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more of things that I thought that we could see. Pride,
Okay.
being very prideful, being self-righteous. There's a difference between being righteous, as we should be, but being self-righteous, it's like, I'm this, I'm holier than thou, I'm holier than you, I'm better than you, Jesus loves me more than you, whatever.
So it's like more like comparing yourself basically
Yeah,
to other
and then
people.
another trait I think of someone with a big ego is somebody that cannot take criticism.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these people, like during these times, they think, what is that person gonna know? What is that person gonna know about my life?
Like, esa persona a mí que me va a enseñar. Like,
Yeah.
type, like, yeah, sí. Like.
We always say that this is a past generation, es la pasada generación. Pero en estos momentos estamos pasando that a lot of people, they can't take advice. They're what you call soft. They can't take criticism, which is not right. I mean, we're not perfect at the end of the day. Only God is.
Like, me, personally, that's something that I struggle with a lot, taking criticism. Like, to me, like how you said soft,
Mm-hmm.
like, to me, it's like constructive criticism, it's like if I'm getting in trouble, and I hate doing that, because I'm a goody two-shoes, guys.
And I feel like there's this word called code switching, where like you act different between different people. And I feel like that's what we should do when people trying to give us advice. Obviously, like if someone's trying to give you advice and you're like, how's that person gonna try to give me advice? I get that. I get not being able to like accept the advice, because I mean, if you look at them, I'm like, come on, bro, like. How are you going to teach me how not to do one thing and you're doing the exact same thing? But you got to be humble enough. Be humble to learn the criticism and code and be able to learn what advice they're trying to tell you and how you should probably apply it to your life.
Yeah, but having, like how we said right now, having a big ego will separate you from God.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it will. Because you having a big ego, like, you take yourself to the highest standard of a human, maybe to the point that you think you're more than a human. You might not even it might not even do something that you do intentionally. It's maybe something that's just how the human brain might work. But we have to remember that as humans, we are not gods. We are not God. And I feel like as humans, we tend to try and do things on our own.
Yeah.
Like with a problem or with a habit or with a sin, we are like, I need to solve this first before I ask help from God or before I seek God. But that's what we need to realize, that we need to give him his place. It's his place. We deserve his mercy. He doesn't deserve anything from us. So we forget how big God is and how great he is and how little we are. And sometimes we just gotta recuperate and just remind ourselves how small we are in comparison to God.
Humble yourself.
Yes.
Humble yourself.
That's the word.
That's the problem right now that we are having. Not a lot of people are humble. Not a lot of people. We trust on ourselves, on our self-instincts. But why do we do that when we have God that knows everything? He knows what we need to do. He knows what he wants from us. All we got to do is apply it. All we got to do is obey him. One thing I did want to bring up is, what you think about the difference between a guy's ego and a woman's/girl's ego? What you think about that?
Okay, that's what I was thinking about that earlier. And I was talking to my mom about it too. But I was like, I really, in my notes, I only wrote 2 words in Spanish, so sorry. I put machismo versus feminismo.
Okay. ¿Qué es machismo?
Bueno, en mi punto de vista, el machismo es cuando los hombres, like, they belittle women just because they're a woman and he's a man, and they're men. Like, to me, that's what it is. But in the same sense as feminism, it's like something very upcoming. It's like very strong in this generation, in this society, in this day of age. But it's like also women. It's like where you can't take criticism.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm a woman. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like, my body, my choice.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's how we can see the difference in egos between men and women, but also more on a personal level. Like, I feel like, how do I say it? It's just like women. Damn, I don't even know what I'm saying now. But it's just like I'm trying to like find the words, honestly. But that's something that I saw, like el machismo y el feminismo. Es algo que ha cambiado mucho. El machismo, pues ya diría, it's not normal. Like, it's not a social norm that's accepted.
Oh, no.
Being a machista, obviously. Pero también, al igual, ser feminista it's something very dangerous. It's like the audio. It's like, don't take unnecessary journeys. Don't something on treacherous roads. It's like, be very careful with what ideas you have in your mind, because we always have to come back to his word and stuff. So
I think our pastor says it right. Todo hay un extremo. No te vayas a un extremo. Obviamente es bueno, like, stand up for women, for feminism, and it's right. Well, I mean, not right for machismo, but like, there's some things that, like, the old school, that's how you learn.
yeah,
But there's always a limit. Once you start belittling other people, that's when it becomes a problem. That's the ego. That's that ego that you want to feed. Because your ego, all you're doing is feeding it. It wants more and more and more. And it wants to win. For me, I think in a personal level, for me, my ego, or like the guy's ego in the sense, it's like struggling. So when, like, at least for most guys that I've known, they prefer suffering in silence by themselves. Figure that they figure out themselves, basically. Yo me las arreglo, en español hay un dicho, yo me las arreglo porque me las arreglo. No quiero ayudar a nadie. I was watching a TikTok the other day. It was like, what's something that you can't admit, that you have to admit to yourself? It's like, if I had to get help from someone else, that's how I know I'm not doing things right. That's not right. That's your ego. That's your ego talking. Because we have God, and that's what you have to understand. God is willing to help you. It's just you go looking for him. All you gotta do is look for him, because he's gonna help you solve that problem that you have.
A verse that right now when you said about humble, it reminded me of a verse that I had written down, and I wanted to read it. It's in Spanish, so sorry, because I have my Bible in Spanish. es Lucas 14:11, que dice, porque cualquiera que se enaltece será humillado, y el que se humilla será enaltecido. It's short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Si te crees más de lo que eres, like, we're going down, bruh. Pero, if you're humble, si te humillas, if you're honest, if you're nice, like, te va a venir esa recompensa. It's like saying, like, ¿te aplacas o te aplaco? Es como que lo que nos está diciendo Dios. ¿Te aplacas o te aplaco? So, pues sí, nada más como un pequeño recordatorio a todos los que nos están viendo. Todos tenemos un ego. We all have an ego. We all have things that we struggle with, that we fight with every day. But what matters is what action you take. Like, for example, and it's something I think it's very, we see it a lot nowadays in the church, especially with the youth. Maybe there's youth that stumble and they fall into a certain sin, and instead of, like how Danny said, seeking help, they just flee, they run away, they leave the church. And that's something that it's really important, that even when you feel like crap, even when you know you messed up, when you did something wrong, you have to put yourself aside from what your heart's telling you. Like, no, I can fix it on my own, I can do it on my own. You can't, and that's okay. It's okay. But we have to remember who created us, who has a purpose for us, who has a plan for us. And we have to humble ourselves into his presence and just be like, Lord, I need help. I can't do this on my own. And that's okay. It's really hard. It is hard. It's hard to ask for help. And then, like, maybe how Danny said, as a guys, I feel like as girls, to me, it's like easier to talk about stuff, like maybe with your friends, with your girlfriends, because of like girlhood. You know, it's like girlhood. Yeah. But as guys, porque pues también, like, guys are seen as like the masculine.
Alpha male, king struggle.
but that's something that we also need to change. We all struggle, guys and girls, men and women, and we all need help. And who's the best person to help? Jesus.
Jesus, yeah.
He's always gonna be there for you. So, yeah.
Something I want to bring up is, I mean, we're comparing ourselves to our human life, but like also people in the Bible, they also struggle with this. Look at Peter by himself, bro. Peter, God told him, "You're gonna deny me 3 times." He's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I love you too much, God. I love you. I love you too much, Jesus. You was always there for me. Why would I ever betray you?" What did he do? What did Peter did?
He denied him 3 times.
Denied him 3 times. So sometimes God tells us, "Hey, don't go down this road, because I know where it leads us, where it leads you." Do we listen to him? No. Because we think we know it all. So we think we know what we're supposed to do. And I feel like Amy was saying, just trust God in it. Because sometimes people are not going to be there for you. Sometimes people, that's life. Like, sometimes the people that you trust the most, they're going to be there for you. But there's always going to be one person that's always going to be there for you, and that's God. God, in good times and in bad times, he's always going to be there for you. It's just about putting away that ego that you have and just trusting God and what he's going to do and what he can do to your life.
And like how Danny was saying about, Peter, in the Bible, we can also see, to me, this is the person with the biggest ego that I've ever seen. King Nebuchadnezzar, el rey Nabucodonosor.
You want to read it?
Hey, I'll read it.
Hey.
It's not that long of a story, but like there is like parts to it. Like there's like a couple verses. Let me find it right here. What to me was interesting, because it was interesting, so I highlighted a lot. But in Daniel 3 verse, just read it right here. Daniel 3, starting it says.
You want Spanish or you Spanish or English or?
I'm gonna read it. Okay, I'm just gonna read it in Spanish and then I'll explain it in English, maybe. Okay. But, después dice, el rey Nabucodonosor hizo una estatua de oro cuya altura era de 70 codos y su anchura de 6 codos. La levantó en el campo de Dura en la provincia de Babilonia. Okay. Y envió el rey. To me, that's important. Mm-hmm. How it says, el rey Nabucodonosor envió el rey Nabucodonosor. Y luego dice, Nabucodonosor había levantado. Like, so it says, and then in in Daniel 3, verse 4 and 5, it says, y el pregonero anunciaba en alta voz, mándase a vosotros, oh pueblos, naciones y lenguas, que al oír el son de la bocina, de la flauta, del tamboril, del arpa, del salterio, de la zampoña y de todo instrumento de música, os postréis y adoréis la estatua de oro que el rey Nabucodonosor ha levantado. Okay. In those like 1, 2, like 5 verses, in every single verse, it says something about how it reminds us that the king is the one who did this. The king is the one who sent, who ordered for them to call the people to come in, like, que se postraran. And that he's the one that made the statue. To me, that's crazy because if it's a king who's loved, like, let's say a king who's loved, that's what his people are going to do for him. It's like a present to him. Like, oh, we love you so much, king. You're great. But no, he was not that great of a king. He wasn't, you know? And it's important to see that's how it's like it's a small taste of how big his ego was, how bad of a character he had, because he's the one that did this. Like, he went out of his way to just do this because he wanted to be exalted, he wanted to be honored, he wanted to be praised when he doesn't deserve the praise because he's not God, right? And then to me and then verses 16 and 19 it says, Sadrach, Mesach y Abednego respondieron al rey Nabucodonosor, diciendo, no es necesario que te respondamos sobre este asunto. He aquí nuestro Dios a quien servimos puede librarnos del horno de fuego ardiendo, y de tu mano, oh rey, nos librará. Y si no sepas, oh rey, que no serviremos a tus dioses ni tampoco adoraremos la estatua que has levantado. Okay, I'm going to stop right there before I read the next one. But that's crazy because you can see cómo se humillan los tres hebreos, right? Yeah, los tres hebreos.
Los amigos de Daniel, pues.
Yeah, pues sí, los tres hebreos a no humillarse delante de un rey que no vale la pena. A un ídolo, a un problema que no vale la pena, que no vale estar en esa situación. Like, lo podemos hacer así como de ejemplo. Y luego lo que dice en el 19. Entonces Nabucodonosor se llenó de ira y se desmudó al aspecto de su rostro contra Sadrach, Mesach y Abednego y ordenó que el horno se calentase 7 veces más de lo acostumbrado. Solo por un comentario, solo por una crítica, solo por que le llamaron la atención los amigos de Daniel, solo por eso se enojó. ¿Sí o no nos pasa eso?
Ay, a mí
porque
me pasa mucho.
Te dicen algo chiquito y te prendes, te enchilas y ya, like, it's worse. Like, si una situación ya estaba mal o ya estaba tensa y alguien te dice algo y te molestas, peor va a quedar. Y o sea, podemos ver eso del rey, que solamente porque le dijeron que no, que haz lo que quieras, no me vas a lastimar, como le dijeron, que métenos al horno y mi Dios me librará, ¿verdad? ¿Y qué hizo? Se enojó y, o sea, el castigo lo quiso hacer peor. O sea, lo calentó 7 veces más de lo acostumbrado. ¿Y qué es la moraleja? ¿Que cómo terminó la historia?
¿No murió? ¿Viste una historia? ¿O se lee otra parte?
No.
Okay.
No.
Algo que yo quería traer, something I want to talk about is Daniel 4:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Dice, lo hace en español, yo en inglés, okay? Dice, all of this happened to King Nabucodonosor. He said, 12 months later, as the king was walking on the roof of the royal palace of Babylon, he said, is this not the great Babylon? How do you say it?
Babylon.
Say it?
Babylon.
Babylon. Is this not the great Babylon? I have built as a royal residence by my mighty power and for the glory of my majesty. And I feel like 31 is the most important. Even as the words were on his lips, a voice came from heaven. This is what decreed for you, King Nabucodonosor. Your royal authority has been taken from you. You will be driven away from people and will live with the wild animals. You will eat grass like the ox. 7 times will pass by for you until you acknowledge that the Most High is sovereign over all kingdoms on earth and gives them to anyone he wishes. La consecuencia. The consequence that Nabucodonosor had to face because he was like, I did this. The reason I got this, the reason why I got all these things, the reason why Babylon exists is because of me. And God said, nah, he didn't even let him finish when he told him what was going to happen to him. And I feel like that's so interesting because a veces we, like, no, the reason why I got this job, the reason why I got this house, the reason why I got this car, the reason I got this or that, it's because of me.
Yeah, there's like too much me. I did this. When in reality, it's all him.
And let's be honest, the only reason, and this is a little bit deep, I'm going to say it. The only reason we're alive is because of him. Because if it was up to our actions, I'm sorry, but most of us, God would have done what he did to Nabucodonosor. He'd be like, nah, you're living with the wild animals. Because our ego is, at least for me at times, is more, I listen to more than to God at times. And that's something that I feel like we all struggle with.
Y pues like something also, like a reminder that we're human, right? And like we live like pues en la carne. But like it's important that we remind ourselves that our identity is in Christ and not in this world and not in what I feel. I want to do this. I feel this way. I don't want to do this. Follow your heart. Don't follow your heart. We have to follow God's will in our lives. And like I said, we always say it on this channel. It's hard. It is hard. But like how Danny was reading. You started verse 28. I'll read it just in Spanish for al amor nuestros seguidores en español. Dice Daniel 4:28, dice: Todo esto vino sobre el rey Nabucodonosor. Al cabo de 12 meses paseando en el palacio real de Babilonia, habló el rey y dijo: ¿No es esta la gran Babilonia que yo edifiqué para casa real con la fuerza de mi poder y para gloria de mi majestad? Aún estaba la palabra en la boca del rey, cuando vino una voz del cielo: A ti se te dice, rey Nabucodonosor, el reino ha sido quitado de ti, y de entre los hombres te arrojarán, y con las bestias del campo será tu habitación. Y como a los bueyes te apacentarán, y 7 tiempos pasarán sobre ti, hasta que reconozcas que el Altísimo tiene el dominio en el reino de los hombres y lo da a quien Él quiere. Wow. Que me lleva otra vez a en Lucas, que estábamos leyendo, que dijimos que te aplacas o te aplaco, ¿sí o no?
Sí.
Porque cualquiera que se enaltece será humillado, y el que se humilla será enaltecido. Empezó mal Nabucodonosor y quedó mal. Y como dice Dani, así pudiéramos saber, así, si no fuera por la misericordia de Dios, así seríamos nosotros. Si Él no hubiera hecho ese sacrificio en la cruz del Calvario por nuestra vida, por nuestra salvación, ¿quién hubiera tenido que pagar en esa cruz? ¿Nosotros?
And something I like to bring up, and this is another story, is Lucifer. And yeah, he was one of his angels. So he was closer to God. He was one of the chosen ones. Look where Satan had to end up. He went from Lucifer to Satan, and now he's locked up in eternity. He said, why? Because he wanted to be like God. So imagine at times when we act like we want to be in God. Imagine if that was our ending. But God had mercy. God let his son die for us. And I feel like we don't appreciate that enough. We don't appreciate everything that God has done and will end up doing in our lives. Because we're like, nah, I did that. No, you didn't. The only reason we were able to do all these things is because of God. It's because of him.
Exactly. Y like how you're saying about Lucifer, I'm gonna say it in Spanish because I don't know how to say the word. Pero pues todo eso resultó o inició, como dice Dani, de que Lucifer quería ser como Dios, quería ser Dios, pero pues ni a los talones le llega, ni ahorita, ¿verdad? Pero todo porque por la vanidad, esa vanidad que él tenía de que he was beautiful, era hermoso, todo esto. ¿Y qué? Uno puede ser muy bonito por acá afuera, como nosotros, ¿verdad? Pero también puede ser uno muy feo por dentro, que es algo muy importante que nos tenemos que checar. So you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Don't think you're too hot, don't think you're too hood, don't think you're too street for God, bro. Like, it kind of low-key, like, makes you mad, no?
Don't think you're too cool for God.
Yeah, you're not cool. You're not that cool, bruh. But it's important. Sí, es muy importante todo lo que estamos hablando. Pues fíjate, era nuestra primera vez aquí platicando. Sí, platicamos chido, Dani. But, también, tenía otro versículo. A ver, déjenlo busco.
Damn, you're doing like this. You're doing good though.
Yeah. Algo que me gustó era como desde el inicio, pero en Proverbios 3, del 5 al 7 dice: Fíate en Jehová de todo tu corazón y no te apoyes en tu propia prudencia. Reconócelo en todos tus caminos y Él enderezará tus veredas. No seas sabio en tu propia opinión. Teme a Jehová y apártate del mal. De regreso a lo que estaba diciendo, como humanos tratamos de resolver todo con nuestras propias fuerzas, con nuestras propias ideas, con nuestros propios sentimientos, con lo que nosotros podemos hacer, con lo que yo puedo hacer. Pero al final del día lo que tenemos que acordarnos es que no somos Dios. No somos Dios. Él es el que tiene el control. Y como dice aquí en ese proverbio, no seas sabio en tu propia opinión. Teme a Jehová y apártate del mal. ¿Qué más les podemos decir? Que we're not God, no somos Dios, no podemos hacer lo que Él hace, pero creyendo en Él, Él nos va a usar para cosas sobrenaturales, para cosas especiales, para cosas hermosas. Él nos puede poner en ministerios poderosos, que donde se derrame su presencia en cualquier lugar donde vayamos, donde podemos alcanzar a las almas por Él. Pero siempre y cuando seamos humildes y nos humillemos ante su presencia y reconozcamos que no podemos hacer todo. No lo podemos hacer. Y es muy difícil, como viernes en el culto, algo que pues sí que me impactó mucho durante la predicación, pues ya era durante la administración, y el hermano que estaba predicando pues dijo: pásenle, pásenle, si hay algo que te está distrayendo, algo que te impide de estar con el Señor. Y yo me acuerdo que yo estaba parada al lado de un amigo y le dije: es que me da miedo. Le dije: me da miedo, no puedo pasar. Y él me dice: pásale. Y le dije: es que no puedo, me da miedo. Y ya voy pasando. Así el quebrantamiento que sentía se me hacen los ojos llorosos un poco ahorita. Pero era como que en el sentido de que yo no puedo sin ti, yo no puedo hacer nada sin Él, sin que Él esté allí, sin que Él me encamine, sin que Él me guíe a lo que Él necesita de mí, no lo que yo necesito de Él. Lo único que yo necesito de Él es que Él vive en mí, que Él habite en mí, que su Espíritu Santo esté en mí, y pues sí, que Él me encamine en el camino que debo de seguir, la forma en la que debo de vivir. Pero sí, es hermoso entrar en esa intimidad con el Señor. Y es difícil que todos empezamos a un cierto punto de nuestro carácter. Y hay gente, eso me recuerda, hay gente que dice: así soy, este es mi carácter. No.
Nadie me la va a cambiar.
Eso está mal. Esa es una forma de pensar muy incorrecta. Porque uno, cuando tiene a Dios en su vida, en su corazón, Él te va a cambiar, Él te transforma, Él quita lo que tenga que quitar de tu vida: amistades, relaciones, forma de vestir, forma de actuar, tu trabajo, familia, lo que sea. Cuando tú le abres tu corazón a Dios, Él entra y hace lo que tenga que hacer, la obra que Él tiene que hacer en tu vida. Así que no vengan aquí con eso de que es mi carácter, así soy, no voy a cambiar, porque sí cambia a una persona. Dan y yo llevamos desde chiquitos.
Sí, de los 5, 4 por ahí.
Como 4 o 5 años, desde los 4 o 5 años conociéndonos, entonces ya 15, como 15 años ya de amigos. Y pues yo he visto a Dani crecer, él me ha visto a mí cambiar, o sea, hemos cambiado en esa amistad, en ese tiempo muy, muy largo que nos hemos conocido, que hemos convivido. Así que Dios hace la obra.
Hay una razón. Escuché un dicho. I heard a saying. It was like, there's a reason why God made you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Hay una razón porque Dios te dio 2 oídos y nomás una boca. La razón que te la hizo así es por esto. 2 cosas es lo único que tienes que hacer. Only 2 things you gotta do: listen and obey God. Just listen to Him. Listen what He's trying to tell you. Don't try to argue back. Don't try to like, no, but es que, God, man, I want to do it this way. No, all you gotta do is listen. And the other thing you gotta do is obey, which is one of the hardest things to do.
It is really hard. But we have to get to a certain point of maturity. Just maturity in general as a human, but also spiritual maturity, where you have to remember you got to sit down, you got to shut up, and you got to listen to God.
Just humble yourself.
Like, it's like, what games are we playing at this point? It's like, this isn't a game. This is life. This is salvation. This is eternity. Where are you going to spend it?
And you never know when you're going to die. So, humble yourself and trust God and what He's doing.
The crazy thing is thinking about, like, there's all these sins, all this sin, sexual sin,
Uh,
like,
cussing sin.
yeah, cussing, gossip, right? But imagine you go to hell because you couldn't change your attitude. That's crazy. So what do we have to do? We have to change.
Yeah.
Well, no, we don't have to change. We have to let Him change us. So grow up, mature.
Humble
obey.
yourself. Humble yourself.
Yeah, there's like so many things. So you gotta humble yourself. You gotta obey. Grow up.
Listen.
Listen. Like how Danny said, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth to listen to God and to obey Him. This isn't a game.
Yeah.
So, whew, hey, that ended on a little, but hey, we're really happy that you guys are here. Thank you so much for watching this episode. It was a blessing and honor to be here talking to you guys for a little bit. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for all the support on our social media. Make sure to follow our social media, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Subscribe here on YouTube. And, yeah. Que Dios les bendiga. Muchas gracias a todos los que están aquí. Dios les bendiga. Gracias por todo su apoyo. Síganos en todas nuestras redes, por favor. Cualquier ayuda, cualquier comentario que tengan, no tengan miedo de ponerlo abajo. Y pues sí, que Dios les bendiga. Gracias por estar aquí, por escucharnos el día de hoy. Así que
Dios les bendiga.
Dios les bendiga. Adiós.